Hi, everyone. Welcome to She's Creating an Empire. If I haven't met you yet, my name is Shanda Wright. I'm a senior coach here with She's Creating an Empire. And that's my coach, Melanie Greeno. And I got to tell you, first of all, if you are watching this live, I would love for you to put a 1. If you're watching the replay, put a 2. Hello, Jan. Thank you for being here. So when it comes to my mentor, I'm going to tell you what the heck happens to her. She has this business builder statement. I don't know if you've ever heard of I am statements or these concepts of business builder statements. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. So one of the business builder statements that she has that I think is really cool is that everything I touch turns to gold. And for me, that's actually been true in my life. Prior to meeting Melanie Greeno, I was working full-time in a beige cubicle. I had a really good job, but I had maxed out my career. And it got to the point where it was like brushing my teeth or putting on pants. There was no more growth or excitement in it for me. And so I looked at moving to other cities to take promotions, but there really wasn't an opportunity for me to make more money, to create more impact, and to have more fun. And so I started looking outside of my traditional job for additional sources of income. And I ended up taking on some contract work. I worked as a restaurant person. I was, a server inside a restaurant, trying to help them streamline and make that restaurant better. And then I also took on a job inside a plumbing company because I was like, ooh, this will be challenging. I have to learn about heat pumps. And it was challenging, but more than anything, I ended up working like 80 hours a week. I was exhausted and I really didn't have that much more money. I was like, okay, a little bit more, but it was way less fun. Crawl spaces were not fun. Attics were not fun. Restaurants late at night were not fun. And I really saw something in Melanie that I didn't realize was possible. She was booking these one-way tickets. She was living this life of what seemed like retirement, only she also got to do her calling and her passion, which was helping other people. And so I hired her as my coach, and she taught me not only how to pay off over $1 million in debt, but then also how to create multiple streams of online income, how to believe in myself, how to find my voice, how to build a life that was uniquely built on my strengths, my interests, my goals, and my needs. And it was so special for me, for someone who didn't care which path I chose, just that I was happy with it. And that, I remember talking about, wanting a promotion. She's like, do you really want your boss's job? It's like, no, actually, I don't want her life. And she's like, well, then why would you want that? I was like, because I want more. And she's like, well, more doesn't have to be more of the things you don't want. Like, what if you wanted more of something you do want? And so, yes, no, April, this is the thing. It's so funny. There's no such thing as missing the mark. In my experience, one of the things I thought, because I was high functioning, and I like to be good at stuff, and I identified as someone who was good at my job, but I had been doing it for 10 years. And so just like you, April, I thought I was missing the mark over and over and over and over again, but I realized we're not supposed to be good at stuff we've never done. I had never built an online brand. I hated social media. My boss made me activate it, and then Melanie made me delete all the snotty things on there. I still get empty Facebook memories. I'm like, I wonder what Melanie made me delete that day. It's pretty funny. But the thing is that, this is a trial and error process. And so one of the things that I want to share with you today is my biggest key to faster success. Right, April? We've never done it. So if we've never done it, why do we expect to be good at stuff we've never done? And when I realized, there was this aha moment. I remember going into 2020, I was like, 2020, this is the year of perfect vision, right? What am I going to see this year that I'm not going to have seen before? And holy Hannah, did I see some things. I don't know about you, but 2020 was illuminating for me. Made me realize life is short, that I was dispensable at my job, and that truthfully, if I don't travel the world now, maybe that's not going to be a forever option. And so it really put a fire under me. And the other thing that came up when I was looking at this concept of 2020, what else do they say about 2020? Hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020. And I was like, wait a second. Melanie's hindsight is my foresight. So all the things I was scared of, all the things that I wasn't good at, all the things that I was trying to do, I didn't have to worry because I had a coach to guide me along the way. And her hindsight was 2020. Just because it was blurry and scary for me didn't mean that it was the same thing for her. And so getting around Melanie has truly changed my life. Now I've been able to travel the world. I've been to over 30 countries in the last year. I have friends all over the globe, and I'm so grateful to now call a tropical country my home. And this year, actually, I'm going to be living, a couple of months in my home country, a couple of months in Mexico, a couple of months in Colombia, a couple of months in Panama, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to experience these different cultures. And I had never even dreamed this was possible until I was like 65. But I wanted to do it like before I had babies and, before I got to the age where maybe I wouldn't be as mobile. And so for me, I'm really passionate about getting people connected to Melanie. I mean, you saw transformation specialist, motivational speaker. If any of you guys have seen a transformation in your mindset, your skill set, your bank account, your brand since working with Melanie Greeno, I want you to say thank you, Melanie, in the chat, because it's been game over. Nah, I don't know if I'm going to come to the island. I was thinking about it for a day. We'll see. We will see. I'm very excited for the opportunity to be able to be connected to her. I know, right? So it's been the key to my success. I had been in network marketing. I had tried some one-on-one coaching. I had even started multiple businesses in addition to my job prior to meeting Melanie. And what happened for me is that I had all these vehicles. Right? There's all these vehicles. And I was like, maybe network marketing doesn't work. Maybe coaching doesn't work. Maybe I'm not meant to own a small business. Maybe owning a spa doesn't work. Maybe I can't run a plumbing company. And I had all these limiting beliefs. But what I realized is those are just vehicles. And whether it's a Jeep or a Lamborghini, they work. But if you don't know how to drive a stick shift, doesn't mean the car doesn't work, right? So Melanie Greeno and She's Creating an Empire, here is where we have the driving lessons. These are the how to take your business, your chosen profession, and how to make it into something. So since I've joined She's Creating an Empire and started working with Melanie, now I have multiple network marketing businesses that pay my bills, whether or not I touch them. Residual income's a beautiful thing. I get to coach women around the world, and I get to see transformation in their lives, in their mindset, in their belief, in their bank accounts. It's absolutely dynamically rewarding. I get to be able to learn multiple skill sets. And that's because I know how to drive the online income vehicle. Okay. This is a vehicle. And if you don't know how to drive a stick shift, you're going to go learn, right? You're going to get into a parking lot where there's no other cars. You're going to have someone sitting next to you that can help you. You know, you're going to stall a couple of times. And that's what She's Creating an Empire is. It's that safe parking lot full of empty cars with the coach that knows how to help you so that as you stall, you're calm. And they teach you what to do and how to get that car back started. And then there's a season, you guys, where you're going to start driving on the roads, right? I don't know if any of you can drive a stick shift. I can, but I couldn't when I first started. And I remember the first time I started on a hill. I was at a dead stop at the top of a hill and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And that's what entrepreneurship is like. Just because you can drive in the parking lot doesn't mean that it's not going to be nerve-wracking on the streets. And so having that coach right beside me has changed my life. And it can help you learn how to take your chosen vehicle from not making you enough to being the thing that sets you free and sets your family free. And so you got to learn how to drive it. You got to learn how to do this thing. And so I want to share with you my number one secret. Okay. Number one is get around Melanie. That's number one. But here's the thing is, like April said, she felt like she was missing the mark. She's really only been working on her online business for a couple of months, right? How many of you guys thought that you'd sign up for your company or you'd get your coaching certificate since age 9? Holy Hannah, you probably grew up in a country, hey? That's not a city guy. That's not someone who grew up in the city. But for real, it's this concept of we think we should be good very quickly. And I understand there's those overnight success stories, but even Starbucks was a 20-year overnight success story in the making. McDonald's, same thing, right? When you look at these overnight successes, Jeff Bezos was working on Amazon for 10 years before it took off. So you're no different. However, there are some shortcuts to success. And one of them is a mentorship and a coach that has the results and a track record. There's a difference between being able to do and being able to teach. Okay, there's a huge difference. And I see a lot of coaches that talk about their success and how big their business is, and then they never celebrate their clients. And I always thought that was weird. I was like, well, are your clients seeing success? Like, isn't that more important? But it's because they're really good at what they do. They're just not necessarily good at equipping others to do it. And so that's why I love Melanie, because she's not just a doer. She's also an educator. She has a coach's heart. And when you actually know a coach, I did gymnastics as a kid, and I had a Russian gymnastics coach. I love the coach's heart. I love the coach's heart to be able to get you to your Olympics, to be able to help you win your Super Bowl. And that's really Melanie's specialty. Okay. Now, here's the thing. There is this law. There is this law in the world that there's only two ways to change a habit. And your habit of just getting by financially, your habit of not succeeding in your business, your habit of not being able to create 6 or 7 figure success, these are habits of thought and habits of action. And there's only two ways to change a habit. Okay. Never played sports. That's so funny. Yeah, I was a lot. I had ADHD, and my mom's like, maybe if I keep her busy, she'll chill. I didn't do it. I didn't chill out even a little bit. So funny. So in order to change a habit of thought and in order to change a habit of behavior, there's only two ways to do it. One is repetition, or the law of autosuggestion. And the second is shock. Okay. Now, the thing is that repetition can take a long time and shock can hurt. So where's the balance? That's what I always ask, because I'm sitting there and there's times where I go to Melanie and I'm like, I finally got it. She's like, oh my goodness, I've been saying that to you for 5 years. And I'm like, yeah, but I got it now. She's like, well, I'm glad you're catching up. And I'm being cheeky. She doesn't say it in that kind of like, you should have got it by now way. But, as people, sometimes it takes us a while. And as I sit here and I think about, what kind of mother I want to be and what timeline even, like if I'm going to have a baby in the next 5 years, I need to get my business to a certain place where that makes sense. If you want to retire in the next 5 years, you need to get your business to a place where that makes sense. And so if you've got a tighter timeline, or you're looking at something that it's like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do about that? The thing is that that shock works faster, but it hurts. How many of you guys have been had intervention from the universe, those aha moments, but they come from pain? They come from someone saying something that's uncomfortable, or you running into a bank account balance that hurts, or you having been laid off, or you having a client leave, or you having, some sort of life moment that shocks you into realizing that you weren't doing enough. And the way that you were behaving wasn't actually good. I know, right? It's crazy. So for me, I'm like, how do I get less pain from the shock and less time from the repetition? And I studied it, right? Because I'm studying the greats. I grew up on welfare. I was the oldest of 8 children. I had $100 a year in clothing budget, and I got to decide between presents or a party for my birthday. So when I associated, wait a second, if I have money, then I could be free and I could have choices. And I know it's not the key to happiness, but it is the key to making a lot of stuff happen. So I knew that money was something I had to figure out, and I wanted to figure it out at a young age. So I'm like, okay, how do we get this done? How do we make this happen? I'm studying the greats, the Tony Robbins, the Bob Proctors, the Oprah Winfreys, and they all say the same thing. Funny enough, Mel does too. Shocked, right? Shocked. The key is called full immersion. Have you guys ever heard of the concept of full immersion? Okay, so what this is when you take all of your 5 senses and all of your higher faculties and you immerse them in the same concept. So it gets the repetition very, very condensed. Okay, that's why Tony Robbins does his 4-day events where he makes you walk on fire, right? That's why Bob Proctor did his week-long events where you got to really change the way that you came out of those events. And I've been to several events and they changed everything for me, because my 5 senses, that controls what goes into my conscious mind. So sight, smelling, hearing, tasting, touching, that's what stimulates thought. That's what gives us new information. That's what we base our beliefs on, is the stuff we see, touch, taste, feel, So when you can take your 5 senses and you can take your higher faculties, your imagination, your will, your reasoning, your memory, when you can take those higher faculties, which are more subconscious mind stuff, this is all The Secret. I'm studying The Secret a lot. Abraham Hicks, all those guys, right? So when you can take your subconscious mind and your conscious mind and you can immerse them in the same thing, the things that help you create where you want to go, then it condenses repetition. So it doesn't have to hurt, and it condenses time frame. So how many of you guys want to see more success and more change in your thoughts and your habits, and you want to see it more quickly without the pain of the lessons that we have over the years, right? If that's you, say me in the chat. I want to know. Heather's in. I love it. Well, for real, I want to show you what we've created to be able to help you do that, okay? So one of the things that we know, Melanie's done this for years. She's been to lots of conventions, lots of events. I've been to lots of conventions, lots of events, and I'm never the same as when I go. I see someone that's done something that came from further behind than me. I look at someone who's been able to create something that reminds me of me. I get around someone who asks a question or says something that makes me realize, wait a second, that's a totally different way to look at this, and maybe I can, right? And so it's just one step at a time I've been able to break free. I used to be addicted to painkillers. It was at an event that I lost that. And that was a big thing. That was a habit of behavior that took a long time. Oh, I wanted to stop for a long time, but I couldn't. And then at an event, a decision, a moment, one conversation changed my life forever. And so that is what happens. See, that's the thing, April. Pain was killing me too. And all I knew, and it's funny because Grace Johnson, who you're going to hear from in a minute, she actually said to me, she's like, she was talking about the season she's in, and I told her about what I was up to in that season when I was putting more into myself than I was into my lifestyle, right? And the sacrifices I made and how I made it happen. And she's like, thank you for having such a clear vision. I was like, I didn't have a clear vision. I didn't know I wanted to live near palm trees. I didn't know what it felt like to impact the world. I didn't know any of that. All I knew was what I had sucked. I just knew the pain was killing me, April. That's all I knew. And so I was in my late 20s. I had been working for 15 years. I had nowhere near enough money in my bank account. I was working way too much. All of my relationships were give and take. There was no unconditional love in any of those relationships. I was exhausted. And actually, I got a Facebook memory the other day of when a worker didn't show up to work and we had rented an auger to drill holes to put up the fence that blew down. And I had dogs and I needed someone to show up, and I was pleading, someone come please dig holes with me. And that was my weekend. That was a very normal weekend. In fact, that was one of my better weekends. For real, that's all I had to do was I had to stop the tears. Now, there's some of you who are here because you can see a glimpse, you can see a hope, you can see a future. And that's exciting for me because truthfully, more is created from hope than is from despair. But if you're in a painful season, that's okay. We got you because we've all been there. And the best part is about having a coach who's been there is their hindsight's 2020. And so what we wanted to create, Melanie's taking this coaching program from a very high level coach that teaches people how to scale their online businesses. And she's been in multiple coaching programs, so have I. And there's a flavor at She's Creating an Empire. There's a flavor where we believe that done is better than perfect, where we believe you can fail forward, where we believe that progress is better than perfection, where we believe that the dreams inside of you are for you, where we believe in a supportive community that raises each other's up and straightens each other's crowns. We believe that we can be moms and we can be healthy and we can be business women and we can be girlfriends and we can be daughters and we can be wives, and that there's no either or. It is yes and. We believe that our family deserves more than what we had, and not because we're condemning our parents, but because we're standing up for what it is that our ceiling is going to be their floor. We believe in grooming the next generation. We believe in impacting communities. We believe in a happy household. We believe in a healthy body. We believe in a healthy bank account. We believe in good relationships with money. We believe in these things, and it's very rare. Most people in the world are going to tell you to sacrifice and hustle and work until you're ground into dust. I don't want to grind. Look what happens when you grind something. It turns into dust. I want to be sharpened. I want to be refined. I want to be chiseled like a diamond, not ground into dust. There's a huge difference. And we know that women are really, really, really powerful at this. We know that we can do more with less doing. And that's part of our amazing design. Look at how much a woman does. Like, you give her a house, she makes it a home. You give her sperm, she makes a baby. You give her food, she makes a meal. We are creators, and we are absolutely beautiful at balancing these things when we learn how to honor our authentic truth. And so in She's Creating an Empire, we have a very unique mission, and we have to equip and empower 1 million women toward financial freedom. In 2023, our goal is 100K stories. Now we know a lot of people, some of them will be making 100K and they'll add 100K. And some people won't have ever made 100K, and we're going to help them increase their income to and beyond $100,000. So if that's our mission, how can we condense the repetition and lessen the pain of the shock, and or get people out of their cycles? And so full immersion was the answer. So Melanie, we moved to Panama a couple of years ago, and there's something so special here because both the oceans meet at the little point, right? It's the skinny part of South America. I learned that after I got here, so you don't have to be good at geography for anything. So we're in Panama, and there's this energy that's just like, I stared at a wall for 4 hours the day after I got here because I was just finally feeling rest and peace. And they say that when you feel rest, that, you can feel exhausted because you're not in that hustle anymore. And I felt that here. And there's this set apartness in Panama that's very, very special to this land. It's got love and community and beautiful food and sunsets that are just magic. And so she's like, I want people to experience this. I want people to experience this set apartness, and I want to pour into them at a high level so that they can actually create that condensed time frame so we can get those 100K stories this year, okay? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this event, this amazing thing that we have set apart. This will be the only time it's in Panama. We're not doing it here again. So before I tell you about this event, before I tell you about everything that we've got created for you, everything and all the thoughtfulness that's been put into it, I actually want to pull up Grace Johnson. So Grace Johnson is a coach here where She's Creating an Empire. She's been a student of ours for years. She is a wonderful woman, and she's been to many, many events, and she can tell you why she keeps going to events where Melanie and I are at. And so Grace, I would love for you to share just a little bit about why you go to events, why you believe in full immersion, and what's changed for you since coming to in-person events with people like Melanie and I.
Amazing. First of all, thank you for having me on. It's an honor and a blessing to be able to work with you guys and to be able to be in proximity with you. And every time I get it, it's one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. As with that, like prior to She's Creating an Empire, like I had no business experience. I had no prior knowledge of really anything on how to actually be an entrepreneur. And so I needed coaching, and I needed to get around people that were doing it in a way that was different. I'd never been around women that were actually executing this in a way that was in a rhythm, in a harmonious way, that wasn't the hustle and grind culture. And it just stood out to me. And that was very unique. And I was like, I need to be around these people. And ever since then, like you told me when we first met, like, just get around Mel. That was it. She's like, I don't care what you think about, like, just get around Mel, show up to events, show up to things, and watch what happens. And I can't remember. There's so many times where I was like, I just need 5 minutes, or I need this little conversation, this sidebar conversation. Those are the things that actually change, that have changed my perspective on just life in general. And you don't get those online. You don't get those in a moment outside of being in person. And those are the most impactful moments.
It's been so special, and I have to agree. And it was one of the things that happened for me when I started I was like, wait, Melanie's like a human.
Yeah.
So I had this stool. I was like, she's like a magical unicorn because of everything she touches turns to gold, right? And she was just able to call out what was true, and she just has this magic about her. And then when I saw her, I was like, oh, she's a person. Like a real live person. So it made her relatable. It made it feel possible for me. And so, Grace, I want you to tell these ladies why it is that you chose to be a part of this retreat in Panama.
Yeah, so when it comes to anything that we do with She's Creating an Empire, it truly is like the heartbeat of the community is to be in the presence of our community and of our people, and to be around each other and to pour into each other and to be poured into. And we don't get that unless we're in person. And those are the most relationship building moments, is the 3 days here, 2 days here, spending a night, traveling. Those are the moments where you build the experiences and the memories that carry you through the hard times when you go through your business, when you're sitting at home and you're not having the best day, you can call your friend that's right there alongside of you, and you don't get that unless you're there in person and building those connections. So I think going to Panama is one of the most impactful things that you guys have the ability to do. And all I can say is get there, like whatever way, shape, form, or how you can do it. I've done plenty of random things to be able to make it to events. I've slept on couches. I've slept in airports. Like, you can make it happen. I'm 26 years old, and if you guys knew what I've done to be able to be around this community, you'd think I was nuts, and that's perfectly fine.
Nuts like a fox. I love it. And you are actually a content creator. So Grace is an amazing content creator. We have specifically a couple of excursions planned and beautiful spots for content. Tell them what happens when you have beautiful white sandy beaches with professional content, and what it means to be able to have something like that for their social media.
Social proof, guys. Social proof is one of the easiest ways to build up your social media. I had no social media proof that I was in business. So when I first started talking about business, people looked at my social media and they were like, you're not telling the truth. And I was like, okay, cool. So I have some work to do. I've got to build a story. I've got to build a case for why people should know, like, and trust me. And so having social media proof of you guys in Panama, having the white sandy beach, guys, that right there is going to make people look at your social media and just go, wow, they're doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but I need to know how they did that, how they got around those individuals. And social media has a really cool presence, social presence for individuals, because now instead of a resume, you need a social media profile. That's just the world that we live in right now. And that's how it's shifting.
And you don't have to worry about knowing your angles or knowing how to do the camera stuff, because Grace has got all that, and so do I. We have lots of fun ideas planned. So thank you, Grace, for being here. Thank you for being hungry for more at 26. Thank you for being willing to create the content for us at this event. And I'm very, very excited for, like, just everything. I know, right? Like, at 26, I'm excited to, you know, I saw this quote online the other day that said, the relationships you make in your 20s, remember, those are going to be the movers in your 20s and 30s. Remember, those are going to be the movers and shakers in your 40s and 50s. I truthfully believe that in the next 20 years, that the majority of the women that are at this event, we're going to be able to, in 20 years from now, see them on stages, see them as the Oprahs, the Tony Robbins, the Alex Mortons, the Grant Cardones, and be like, we, like, hung out with 40 people on a beach together. Like, what are you talking about? So I'm excited to have a front row seat to everything that you create. And I'm very grateful that I get to see you soon.
See y'all soon.
Thank you, Grace. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what it looks like, because I know y'all are like, well, what is she talking about? So I am going to share what is included, what we're doing. This is the view from the lobby of the hotel. So just so you know, the goal here is to unleash your business potential and recharge your soul. How many of you could use a little soul recharge? So we're going to grow your business and nourish your soul. Welcome to She's Creating an Empire Retreat at the beautiful Westin Playa Bonita in Panama. So like I said, immersion. This is an immersive experience that combines practical business strategies with the self-care, because we all know all of y'all need more of that. So who is it for? It is for female entrepreneurs looking to accelerate their business growth through marketing and branding, and this retreat is perfect for you. Over the course of several days, you have the opportunity to learn from experts in the field and gain valuable insights that will help take your business to the next level. So this is Melanie Greeno. She will pull back the curtain and help you accelerate your business with her deep, profound knowledge, and in an intimate setting that will give you plenty of one-on-one time, Q&A, and of course, time with our coaching staff. That's what the spa looks like. Like, what? Sorry, I'm, like, really excited. It's, like, so beautiful. So this is more than just business. We understand that as an entrepreneur, you can be stressed, and it's easy to neglect your own well-being in your pursuit of success. That's why we combined this retreat that has business coaching also with the opportunity to connect, unwind, and recharge. That's the energy. So what are you going to learn? Practical marketing and branding strategies to accelerate your business growth, connect with like-minded women, entrepreneurs, and build a supportive community. Take time to recharge and care for yourself with yoga, meditation, and nature walks. Enjoy delicious, healthy meals prepared by our talented chef, and return home with a clear plan for your business and a renewed sense of energy and purpose. I believe the like-minded women who are passionate about growing their business and taking care of themselves will be one of the best parts. These kind of relationships are lifelong, okay? So yes, you're gonna have a clear sense of a clear plan for your business and a great network and your energy so you can take everything to the next level. That's literally the resort. And we've made it so that there's like 2 hours of pool time in the morning. So you can literally just enjoy sunrise, you can enjoy the beach. This gazebo over here on the left-hand side, you can see it there. It kind of looks like a wedding reception area. We've got that blocked off for yoga in the morning, so we can actually enjoy a beautiful oceanside yoga in the morning. So you check in on the 25th and you actually check out on the 29th. So there's 4 nights, all-inclusive hotel stay. So you get your food, your drinks, your accommodations, and your training all included. So on Thursday, we're going to have a beautiful white party that has a gorgeous view just like this. On Friday, our CEO school students are going to do a VIP breakfast, but everyone is going to have pool time and yoga and be able to relax, you know, just like this. No big deal. We've got our training, and then we're going to have a hot pink party and dinner. And then on Saturday, again, we're going to do yoga, meditation, pool time, and then we've got training in the afternoon. There is going to be a Q&A lunch with Melanie. That's going to be an intimate setting, so you guys can actually feel what it's like to be in her inner circle and connect to that. And we're going to have a wrap-up dinner on Saturday. On Sunday, Sandglass Islands. I need you guys to Google this. It is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It's actually pristine. The Guna tribe, they still hand carve their canoes out of like trees. They catch their fish with a stick and a line, and their lobsters with their hands. This tribe is an ancient tribe here in Panama, and this land is pristinely set apart. They've never built on it. There's no anything manufactured, really. It's like literally huts. And they're going to show us, they're going to catch fresh food, and they're going to prepare a meal for us. We're going to be able to snorkel on a shipwreck right there. It's crystal blue waters. It's white sandy beaches. It's truly, truly special. So you're going to get a workbook, a swag bag, a welcome cocktail, 2 days of high-level mastermind. We're also going to get you a highlight reel, social media photo ops. So you can either take them yourself, you can hire, one of our photographers to take extra, but you are going to get that highlight reel. Seats on the event table, events team for outside events. TikTok and Instagram masterclass. We've got that excursion, 4-night stay at this luxury hotel, 3 meals per day, plus all the bevies you desire. So it's $4,000 for the whole trip, and that includes everything, okay? We do have an early bird special, though, $2,500. $2,500. If you want to add an extra guest, it's $1,000. And if you want to do this in payments, we do 3 payments of $1,000. So it's basically a pay in full bonus of $500 off. So you can do 3 $1,000 payments, or you can do 1 $2,500 payment, or you can wait until after April 20th and pay the $4,000. I actually just learned that on April 20th, we have to release our room, the rooms we have on hold. So after April 20th, if the hotel sells them out, we aren't going to have more rooms available at all. Or we may not. We can't guarantee it. So that's as available for sure. Okay. And our retreat is going to be different, because I've been to some retreats, and some retreats are more like you don't leave different. But what is different about ours is it's the understanding of the importance of balance. We believe that success in business is not just about the strategies you use, but also how you take care of yourself and the energy you build it in, right? And our retreat, you'll learn the practical skills, but you'll also be able to look at your business and how to grow it. The opportunity to take time for yourself with other like-minded people, so you can build that. Our retreat is designed to nourish your mind, body, and soul, and feed your body. We're going to give you yummy food. It's absolutely incredible. We want you to leave more knowledgeable and more energized, focused, and connected to your purpose. So the thing that's really interesting about this specific retreat is that we hit like 50% sold out in the first 10 days. And so I was like, Melanie, some people haven't even had a paycheck since we announced this. Like, can we? So now we've added 10 extra seats. So it's going to be a maximum of 40 people. Okay. So that's 40 primary rooms. You can have a +1. That doesn't take any, but we have 40 rooms set aside. And I believe they're going to be done before April 20th. Because obviously this is the kind of thing, it's a business write-off. How many of you guys get a business write-off vacation, right? How many of you need that soul nourishing, set apart space where you can just be a woman and be filled up instead of taking care of everybody else? You know, when I joined this, I was like, I have a full plate, but my cup was empty. And they say you can't pour from an empty cup. And this is designed to empty your plate and fill your cup so you can actually get that rest that you need and pour into the others around you. And it's tax write-off. That's my favorite part. No, it's not. The training and the community is my favorite part. And seriously, Google Sandblast. It's insane. It's one of the world's top 10 beaches. It's absolutely special. So when we look at this retreat, okay, there is 3 types of people. There's the types of people who want to come, but they're not really sure that it's going to meet their business needs, right? I had a lady reach out to me. She's like, you know, my business is at this level. My brand is dialed in. Like, is there value in this for me? And if that's you, I want you to book a strategy call. Okay. Second kind of person is like, giddy up, let's go. I want the early bird pricing. Like, put me in, coach. And if that's you, we're going to get you a link at the end of this to be able to register. And then there's also the kind of person who's like, I'm just not sure I can make the money work. And if that's you, I want to tell you a couple of stories, okay? So the first story is my friend Tracy, who actually, this is the funniest story, because I sold a couch and a TV to go to my first event. And Tracy actually sold her extra couch, but it's the one that her husband would nap on. And so I thought that was really funny. Also taking on extra side work, you know, making some sales targets and hitting them in your business are really, really powerful ways to do it. And one of the most resourceful women that I know is actually Sue, who is here with me. And I would love for her to tell her story about making it happen, right? So Sue, when she started with She's Creating an Empire, she had debt, she had a small business that she was running ragged, and she's been able to pay off hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. She's been able to travel lots. She's launched multiple streams of income, and she's just always found a way. And so, Sue, I want you to tell them a little bit about your story, about why you're coming to Panama, and what you would say to the person who's, you know, maybe unsure, or, you know, is like, ooh, this is my first time investing in myself. What kind of advice would you give them?
Oh, invest in yourself. I'm in my 50s and I've recreated myself thanks to Melanie. I can't say enough about this community with She's Creating an Empire, how it has given me back my voice. I had lost that. I was looking for validation from men. That didn't work well. Just all in the wrong places. And I was spinning my wheels. Like you said, I was turning to dust because I was working so hard and not really getting anywhere. So this has given me that leverage up to step into my greatness, to find my voice, to be that person that leader that I know I can be. And in-person events have literally changed my life. It's not the same being at home and being on the Zoom. You don't get that energy. You don't get that. I mean, there's all your distractions at home. There's no distractions when you're at those events. You're there, you're engaged. And again, you're with like-minded people. And again, it's just that energy, that loving energy. So I do what I have to do to get to these events, because the self-development for me is huge. It is absolutely huge. I just wouldn't trade it for anything. I would find the money. I would sell a couch and a husband and whoever else I need to sell.
Tell your husbands, y'all. You might need to jump into it, but I know you've talked him into some other things. So you're good. Oh, I think that's really special. So what is it about Panama that has you the most excited? I mean, you know about the retreat, you know about the event, you know about the location, you know about Melanie. What is it that you're most excited about for this?
To be with like-minded ladies going in the same direction, to be in such close proximity with Melanie and yourself, that energy to learn, to level up. It's just going to be amazing. It's going to be life-changing. And I just wouldn't miss it for anything. Like I said, I'll find my way if I have to walk to Panama. I'll start now, but
you might have to. You know, for me, it's like there's this family reunion energy because I really, really, really care about each and every one of our community members. And I see what's holding them back because again, hindsight's 2020. So I'm like, oh, I see that game you're playing with yourself. Oh, I see that mindset issue. Oh, I see that limiting belief. I see what skill you're working to develop. And what I know is that it's going to be like a pressure cooker, right? Pressure cookers reduce the time and increase the tenderness. And I love Instapots. Also, it's like an Instapot for business, which is so my vibe. And to be able to, and I've also stood on this property. It's really special. It's really special. And I cannot say enough how excited I am to connect with each and every one of you. And so I want to give thank you, Susan. Let's get some love for Susan and Grace in the chat. I just want to say thank you, Sue, for being a key part of our community and for coming to Panama. I can't wait to see you. So what I want to do is I want to give you guys a couple of options for what to do next. Okay, so the first one is a strategy call. So Cassie's going to drop the link in here for my calendar. And this is the link for the person that is like, I don't know if this is going to meet my business goals. I don't know if I want to, you know, if my business is at the point where investing $2,500 is a good decision. This is for the kind of person who's like, you know, what am I going to get out of this? Someone who needs to talk that through. And I'm totally here for it, right? I don't believe that you should know everything about stuff that you've never done. I happen to know Melanie. I happen to have had a life-changing experience at her events. The last event I went to, so the one pre-COVID, I actually 4 times my online income in 45 days after leaving a Melanie Greeno event. So I know what it's like to learn and apply, go to events and see no changes. And then I know what it's like to get around Melanie. And so I'm obviously biased because I am going to want to see you there. But if it's not a good fit, I don't want people there that it's not a good fit for. Mentally, emotionally, financially, I don't need any stress at this event. We are there to recoup, rejuvenate, build business brands and bank accounts that we love, okay? So the second option for you is to get registered now. Like I said, we're almost 50% sold out, even with the additional rooms. It's like, oh my gosh. So we don't have that many more that can fit in. And even if it's only a deposit, I want you guys to secure your spot. So I'm going to get Cassie to drop in the retreat registration link for those of you. And just so you know, for those of you who are coming, Melanie's offered this. We're actually going to be taking a convoy of vehicles to Sandblast. It's about a 2-hour drive. So anyone who brings a couple of friends with them, not in the same room, but like additional rooms in addition to theirs, if you refer some friends, you actually get to be in either my or Melanie's car with at least one of us, if not both of us, to be able to pick our brains. And I don't like that saying so much because, you know, my brain's not for picking, but also you get to pick our brains and ask questions. Imagine having Melanie and I sitting there pouring into you, answering your questions on the way to a world-class beach. So now you get intimacy at a level that, and a business coaching at a level that you can't otherwise get access to. We're not going to sit down for 2 hours and just let you ask 12,000 questions, but we will on this trip. And so I want you to not only go and register right now, but I want you to tag your friends and family. And that's your homework from this event is get enrolled. Book your strategy call if you aren't ready to get enrolled so we can talk through it and see if it's the right thing. But in addition to that, I want you to tag 3 women in this video. And I want you to tag and make sure they're in the group. If they're not in the group, obviously they can't see it. But I want you to tag a few ladies that you think need to see this because we often as women put ourselves on the back burner. We often as women do not prioritize ourselves, our businesses, our brands, our bodies, our health, our mental health. And that's okay. I'm not asking you to change all of your habits at once, but I want you to let me take care of you. I want you to let Melanie take care of you. I want you guys to know that doubling your business, whether it's at $300,000 a year in income, or it's $30,000 a year in income, or it's $3,000 a year in income, that you can do it. And I want you to let us help. And I want you to let us put you first and us to pour into you so you have more to give to others. And so there's a lot of women out there that don't choose them. They choose everyone else, and they're people pleasers, and they give and they give and they give until they have nothing left. And so I want you to tag those women that maybe they wouldn't poke their head up, but you know that they deserve this time away. You know that they deserve a business that's flourishing. You know that they deserve a coach who's going to love on them and help them level up and, you know, create this pressure cooker effect so that they become deliciously abundant and full of ease and peace and joy and all the things. So tag 3 women in this video, and thank you so much for being here. For Momentum Group students, our call starts in 15 minutes, so I will see you in the Momentum Group. And if you're not in the Momentum Group and you want to create momentum in your business, then book a strategy call. We'll see if you're a good fit. And I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you again, Sue. Thank you again, Grace. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, Melanie, for being willing to open up your mentorship, your coaching, your time, and your favorite place, and your favorite in your favorite country to each and every one of us so we can build the life, businesses, and empire that we love. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Remember to take your friends.